Hi, I'm Nige.
I'm Adele, and this is Archie.
Welcome to our benivanadventures. Hello, and welcome back to benivanadventures and another of our French airs and stopovers videos from our latest trip, which is the Northern France tour. If you've not seen the videos, I'll leave a link in the description below to a playlist of all the places we've visited. We do get asked how we plan our stopovers and how do we find them, and Adele does a lot of research before we go to the areas that we're going to visit, but it isn't until we get to lunchtime on the day, like where we are today, is that we will plan and look into where we're going to stop tonight. We occasionally use the apps on our phones, the Park for Nights, Search for Sites is a good one, and the Camping Car Parks app. But our go-to source of reference is a bit old school, a bit old-fashioned. It's a book. This book is All the Airs in France and is published by Vicarous Media. We're not sponsored by them, we're not affiliated to them, we're not ambassadors to them or anything like that, but we just find that this book is an absolute Bible if you're going to use French airs. They give you all the details of the airs, where they are, how much they are, if they're charged, what facilities are there, and a picture. You also get a map to show where they are as well. Which brings us to our videos. The French Airs and Stopovers series is basically a video version of this book. But where the book can only give you a picture of the air, we can give you like a video tour. What's there, how you get there, the entrance to it, and the facilities. And we do them whether you're new to motorhoming in France and never used airs, and think, well, you know, what are they, what you're going to get. In our videos, you'll be able to see what facilities are at a certain air. If you're regulars to France and use airs all the time, you might find them useful because you're going to an area where we've been and you can have a look at the air beforehand. We give you the location. We try to use what's three words. We put those in, we put the coordinates in, we give you a drive up video to the entrance to where the air is, and obviously film all the facilities are there. Hope you find them useful. As I say, all these airs are from our current tour, which is in northern France, and we start off at the lovely citadel town of Gralene. Our first night stopover on the Northern France tour is in the town of Gralene, which is a few miles inland from Dunkirk. The town of Gralene is encircled by ramparts and moats, and is the only fortified star-shaped citadel that is totally surrounded by water. The town has plenty of shops, bars and restaurants, and has a market on Sundays and Fridays. There are two separate areas of this air. There are grass pitches, which are shown on the right here, but we were aiming for some hard standings that overlook the river. There we go. These hard standings overlook the tidal estuary. There are no facilities at this air, apart from rubbish and recycling. Payment is by a parking meter. It cost us €7.50 for 23 hours. You can pay by cash or you can pay by card. Out of season, it is €4. The town of Gralene does supply an aire de service, a service point, but it's about 1 kilometre away from the air. The aire de service has fresh water, there's a grey water drop and somewhere to empty your toilet. They also offer mains electricity for charging. It cost us €2 for 10 minutes of water, which was way over 100 litres. It's a standard aire de service bollard, but only takes cash. Our next aire is at another citadel town, the town of Berg. The aire is located just outside the ramparts and the city walls, and next to a sports complex. There are no marked bays at this aire, so you can get between 40 and sometimes 50 units parked together. The town of Berg supplies this aire free of charge, but there are no services here. As you can see, it's basically a gravel car park, but as it's so close to the citadel, it's very popular. The town does supply rubbish collections and recycling points. This next aire was a lovely find in the little village of Escorbeck. The village itself has a bakery for your fresh bread in the morning. There are bars and restaurants, there's a small supermarket, and there's even a barber's. Unusually, Escorbeck's market is on a Friday afternoon. The village provides this aire free of charge. There are 7 parking bays. There is good access to this aire, whether you have a campervan or a motorhome, and is well signposted from the village to the aire. Parking spaces are not huge, but they are adequate for most campervans and motorhomes. There is a service point which you need to buy a token or a jeton from the Marie or some shops. It costs €3. There's water, a drive over grey waste, and of course a toilet drop. You also get rubbish disposal, and there is glass recycling. Next to the aire is a small children's play area and a lovely walk through into the village. We even had some white peacocks call in from the local chateau. Our next aire is in the town of Cassel. It's a commercial aire, but is a little too far out of the town to be able to walk. The guidebook said it's a 10-minute walk, but when we tried it, 10 minutes didn't get us to the town. But that could have been to our poor sense of direction. This aire has recently been refurbished. It's barrier controlled and feels secure. This aire gives full facilities and cost us €11.70 for the night. But we didn't have electric. Electricity is an additional charge. To gain access to the aire, there's a touchscreen control. You enter your language and then answer the questions. Once payment is made, you get a ticket with a QR code for access to the facilities. Scan your ticket and the barrier open. The motorhome service point has a drive over grey waste. There is fresh water and of course the chemical disposal point. There are showers and there are toilets for which you need your QR code. The facilities were clean but a bit basic. You have the use of picnic tables, and there is rubbish disposal and recycling. There is plenty of room and we found the parking bays very large. To buy the electricity, you have to go to a nominated pitch. The aire is surrounded by a small sports complex with tennis courts, basketball and a football pitch. Our next stopover was in the village of Villiers and cost us €10 for the night. It also costs an extra €2 for water. There is a motorhome service point with drive over grey waste. There is rubbish and mixed recycling. Full instructions are on the board on how to use the terminal. It's a touch-screen terminal, but when we were there it was out of order, so we were unable to access the water, although we could use the chemical disposal point. This aire at Corsy le Château au Fric is probably the best one we've stayed at for a long time, and certainly the best on this trip. It's located at the foot of the old ruined castle. It costs €8.10, and this includes services, including electricity. There is an automated check-in. Again, press the English, new customer, you want parking, 24 hours, it then adds the tourist tax, €8.10, that's water, 6 amp electricity. You're given an access code that you then put into the electricity bollard, followed by the number of the pitch. There is also a toilet, which was basic but very clean. There is rubbish and mixed recycling. There is a black waste or chemical disposal point. There is fresh water, but you do need a male-to-male connector. But it's worth being at this aire just for the views of the old castle. Walk up the hill and explore the castle ruins. And when you finish that, there are some beautiful walks around the lake, which is right next to the aire. This aire at Villier Cotlet is another overnight stop. The service point and aire are in 2 separate locations, and we found it difficult initially to find the aire. It's located on the rear of the local swimming pool, but it is provided by the local community free of charge. The aire has 6 spaces and is large enough for most campervans and motorhomes. My only negative comment with this aire is that you do get slight background noise from the swimming pool's plant machinery overnight, but it wasn't enough to disturb us. There is a mixture of sunny and shaded areas. There is rubbish and recycling bins. There are also picnic tables. The service point is to the front of the swimming pool. There is a motorhome drive-over grey waste disposal, the chemical disposal point, and water, which costs €3. The aire at Longpong is another free aire, right in the middle of the village. There are no services provided at this aire. The grounds are well kept and there are 3 marked parking bays. There are picnic tables. There's a small play area and a notice board with local information. There are no shops in the village, but there are 2 bars and restaurants, and it's a lovely walk through the village. Our next park up is at the riverside town of SaintMax. It's a free park up right by the riverside. There are 4 designated parking spaces, although sensible parking is tolerated on the rest of the car park. You get some lovely riverside views. This aire has its own service point, with motorhome drive-over grey water disposal. There's a chemical toilet disposal point and fresh water, and it costs €2. It's an easy walk into the town where there are plenty of shops, bars and restaurants. It was nice to watch the commercial barges travelling along the river and lovely views in the evening. This aire is certainly one where you go back to nature, in the forest of Chantelli. It's only a few hundred metres from the world famous Chantelli racecourse. It is a free park up, but being in the forest, there are no services. There is the odd waste litter bin, but they are basically for day trippers. There's also picnic benches. In the evening, it was extremely quiet, with only the sound of the woodland birds. It's less than a kilometre away from Chateau Chantelli and also the town of Chantelli. Our next aire is one that we have also used before at Montreal Sumere. This is another great aire that is right in the middle of the town. This aire is free to use. It has 8 pitches. They are well spaced, block paved and level. There is a time limit at this aire of 48 hours. There are rubbish and recycling points. The service point has a drive over grey waste drop, chemical disposal point and a fresh water point. There are also public toilets. Although the aire only takes 8 units, the car park next to it is also used as an aire, with plenty of room for larger vans. Our final park up before returning to Calais was just outside Hardlow. It is an area that can be used for overnight parking, although personally I would only use it during the daytime. There are plenty of bays to park, but obviously being in the forest there are no services. There are some great walks through the forest and is very, very peaceful. Our final French aire on this trip is back to Calais and the camping car parks at Blériot Plage. Up until recently, to access camping car parks, you needed a card, a pass étape. But they've changed the system recently. You still need to download the Camping Car Parks app on your phone. Here you can check availability. There are 60 of the 102 pitches available. You click the access button and you're given an access code to put into the keypad. We were there in April 2025. It cost us €15, and this includes all the services, including 6 amp electricity. As you can see, this is a very popular city centre aire. There are 102 pitches. It has Wi-Fi, electricity and closed circuit TV for extra security. The services which are included in the price are just outside the main aire, where there is fresh water, drive over grey waste disposal and of course chemical toilet disposal. If you enjoyed our little video, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the notification bell for our next Benivan adventure. If you would like to follow us on our travels, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and you can read our van life diaries on Blogger. Thank you for watching and supporting our channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.